Hello, this is Matthew Robert Payne, and this is a video called interviewing C.S. Lewis in heaven. I got an image of his house, and it's got a countertop and a kitchen. It's got a kitchen that could fit a couple of chefs in it. There's a couple of benches and stoves. There's a walk-in fridge. They all seem to have walk-in fridges in heaven. There's a walk-in pantry. There's a seat, a table that fits about 20 people at the table. So he does some entertaining. In this room, there's pictures on the wall. There's a picture of C.S. Lewis in a library, sitting at a table in a library, reading. So I think we've got our question answered, whether there's a library in heaven. It seems that C.S. Lewis is in that library. So he would, all he'd have to do in his house is to walk into that picture, and that picture would be a portal, and he'd be in the library in heaven. I wonder if the library in heaven has got a picture of his house so he can come back. His house is really nice, and really nice isn't a good explanation of it, but he's got a beautiful living room, leather couches. He's got artworks on the wall. He's got a picture of Jesus healing the 10 lepers, laying hands on the 10 lepers, and that encounter must appeal to C.S. Lewis. He probably considers himself the one that came back and thanked Jesus. C.S. Lewis was an atheist for some part of his life, and got converted and wrote some wonderful books for the Christian world. So C.S. Lewis, what are you doing in heaven? It's easy to answer that question, Matthew. I've continued with my writing. I actually, I also teach writing classes in heaven, teach people to write. One of the keys to learning information is to read, and so many people in this world that you live in have got keys for living, have got insights and knowledge and wisdom within them, and they've just got to take the time to learn how to write and to write and encourage people. So I teach classes on how to write and how to improve your writing. So I teach English classes in heaven, and so that may be a surprise to you. Also write books. I've continued with some of my storylines that I had in books on Earth, and I encourage people with my writing. I have an ability to encourage people to be a better person than they are. I've got fiction and non-fiction books that I've written since I've been in heaven, and I can't say which type of book encourages people the most. Some people get tremendous growth in their lives from my non-fiction books. Some people get really encouraged and get good personal growth from my fictional books. I've got a vast array of books now, and I also teach drama. I instruct actors in drama. So I do a variety of things, teaching people how to write better. I teach drama, teaching actors how to act, and I write books, and I keep busy writing books. The actors I've taught have starred in films in heaven, and I get mentioned in award ceremonies. My students mention my name for training them and encouraging them how to act. You can't really teach writing in as much as every writer has that ability within them. They've got an innate ability to write, but you can guide people on how to write better and how to use specific words to make a difference in their writing. And that's what I teach in my English classes. Everyone has the ability, everyone who attempts acting has the ability to act. And so it's the acting classes are just guiding people with some principles how to act. And my writing stands for itself. You saw me at the library in heaven. I don't keep all of the books I read at home. I access the libraries in heaven, and there's libraries. There's more than one. At home, on the bookshelves at home, I have copies of my books that I've written on earth and books that I've written in heaven, and I like to read them from time to time and remind myself as my own coach. I sometimes go back to a book and re-edit it and reproduce it, republish it. All of my books on earth that have been published have been re-edited and updated now, and it's only in heaven that you can get the updated version. So people who've read The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe would be encouraged at the updated version of the book. Yeah. What do you like about heaven? I like the fact about heaven that you can do whatever you choose to do. Heaven is a place of personal choices, and the choices are really personal and intimate choices that people make when it comes to how they're going to worship, how they're going to conduct their lives, and what vocation they're going to choose to do in heaven. The good thing about heaven is it's got training courses for everything. You may be a person who wants to act in films, and you may come to a series of my classes on acting and learn if you have the ability to act, and get placed in a film and become a film star in heaven, or become an actor in a film in heaven. You may not be a star right away. But what I love about heaven is there's an ability that's inherent, that you can do anything in heaven. You can choose to be a cook, just a cook, and not a chef, someone who just assists in kitchens and hasn't got the formal training of a chef, but just likes to cook. You can be someone who cleans, and there's cleaners in heaven, not just the angels. The angels do a lot of cleaning in heaven, but you may like the process of cleaning things, and you can be a cleaner in heaven. There's so many roles and opportunities in heaven to do different jobs, and I especially love that about heaven. I always had an interest in acting. I always had an interest in film, and that's why I teach acting. But only in heaven would you be given the opportunity to teach a subject that you haven't been a film star yourself. And some people may think that you don't know enough to teach acting. And yet I was given a chance to teach, and my students have gone on and acted in films and done really well for themselves. I love the interaction that students have with their teachers. I'm able to go out to restaurants and cafes with my students that I teach English to, and my students that I teach acting to. You can get to know your students in a personal manner, different to what happens on earth. There's many differences in heaven than on earth. You can't really go out for dinner with your professor on earth. It's not considered smart or not considered viable unless the professor's having an affair with you. But in heaven, teachers are encouraged to go out with their students and get to know them on a personal level, and it improves the teaching quality when you know your students really well. Matthew hasn't got a big vocabulary that he can use in books, and his English teacher encouraged him, even though his grammar and spelling were not very good. His English teacher said that he was one of the best writers he'd ever seen and encouraged him to write. And Matthew's books are sufficient, and they do a good job for people who read them. I'm encouraged to meet Matthew and to speak through him. He'd be a good student of mine. I've read a number of Matthew's books, and they're encouraging. And his book on the parables was certainly enlightening to me. I enjoy watching people develop in my English class. People come with limited skills, and I watch them develop to become great writers with my instruction and my enablement. I watch people come to my classes on acting with absolutely no acting ability, and leave the class signed up for a film and acting a part and doing a good job of acting in a film. We have feature films in heaven. We don't have violence or swearing or cussing or sex scenes in the movies, but we do have movies, and they're produced and directed in heaven, and people go out to the movies. I enjoy going to the movies myself and watching movies. I constantly am going to see the movies of my students and congratulating them. They go to the opening. I get invited to the opening movies that they star in, and I get to meet them at an official function after the movie has premiered, and it's a real joy. Heaven is an exciting place to learn in. It's a real joy to watch students perform, and it's a real joy to learn. And I've learned more as a writer in heaven than I learned as a writer on earth, and I've really matured in my gift and my ability to write. There's many great writers in heaven, and many people to glean from, and I enjoy heaven with its ability to train you and equip you and teach you, and I enjoy passing on my knowledge to students. What is your message for us? I encourage you to find something that you can do on a part-time basis that you really enjoy. That may be reading. I encourage you to explore reading if that's a joy of yours. That may be watching videos. I encourage you to watch videos on a part-time basis. But more than reading and watching videos, there's certain jobs that you can learn and become proficient in that you can do part-time. You may be fascinated with the life of a florist, and you may be able to ask certain florists in your town, could you come and work part-time for them to learn the business of a florist. I sense that I believe personally that you will be very encouraged in your life if you learn certain skills and practice them part-time outside of your normal job that you're interested in. There can be great joy found in taking an interest in something that you're very interested in pursuing. So that may be recording songs, that may be recording music. You may not be someone who works as a musician full-time, but you can record music and record your songs on a part-time basis and release songs to iTunes and get some joy out of sharing your songs with the world. There's many different exploits that you can go on and you can experience as a Christian believer. You may have an interest in evangelism, healing evangelism. You may look up different healing evangelists on video or go to their conferences and learn the ability to heal people on the street, and then take it and put it into practice with your life. There's many things that you can pursue on a part-time basis, and I encourage you to pursue your interests. Matthew enjoys writing, and he dedicates his life to writing, but he also enjoys reading, and he puts a lot of time into reading and watching videos, and he's constantly collecting information and sorting out information that he can reprocess and put into his books. So it's that part-time reading and part-time watching videos that sources information for him to be able to reprocess and repackage in his own books that benefits other people. I sense that there's many of you who have dreams and desires of doing certain things, and you haven't been given the opportunity, or you haven't tried to take the opportunity to work in that certain area or that certain discipline. But I encourage you to try to have a go at doing those things on a part-time basis. You can approach workplaces and apply for a part-time job doing the certain vocations that you're attracted to. I've really enjoyed speaking to you today, and I trust that you will listen to me and try and get a part-time position doing the thing that you're attracted to. You could do a course on do an acting course and pursue getting an acting position part-time or full-time, depending on what you do. But I have really enjoyed sharing with you today, and I encourage you to be the best person that you can be. I encourage you to reach higher and reach further than you've ever reached before. God bless you.